I say, guys, welcome back to my program. And now you have to realize why I do my programs and why I coach people, for example. You have to realize that when I coach people, I'm really seeking to coach myself something. I'm trying to find some information about myself that I can give. And I'm trying to talk in a different way because I understand that when I talk in different ways, that's how I learn. So I learn through speaking words, and I learn through looking at people. I learn through feelings. I learn through silence. I learn through every single kind of way that you can learn. Although you have to understand that all I'm trying to say is everything that I learn and everything that I am is through the words I speak. So you have to understand that the only way that I truly learn is when I speak words. So when I'm speaking words, I can go any place I want to go. I can do whatever I want to do, and I can overcome any obstacle that I want to overcome. I'm just saying that the only way to really learn is to speak your words. And when you speak your words, you have to realize it becomes something of nature. It becomes something of a better way. You have to realize it's much more how every single time I learn something that comes true for me in my life, it's because I spoke the words. And you have to understand that when I'm learning something, when I'm every single day dedicated to my passion of music production and words, and you have to understand because I'm speaking a lot of words every single day, I get to experience things that I've never experienced before. And what did I experience today? You have to understand that it's much more how I'm experiencing things that I learn. And when I'm learning and growing, when I'm always doing something to help myself to succeed, I'm always looking at the better picture. I'm always looking at the better ideas. Where can I find my ideas? How can I do better? I'm always asking myself questions so that I can live my life much better. I realize it's much more how I always have to dive into information. And when I dive into information, I always find something that is useful. Because you have to realize that wisdom is something that always helps you. And it's something that's always growing you as well. So you always have to seek wisdom in life. And when you seek wisdom in life, you're always going to learn something from it. So I understand that if I ever had kids one day, I understand that I'll teach them all these kind of things that I can. Because I understand that it's much more about helping them to understand the mindset that I have personally. And it's a positive mindset that I have. And all that people have to understand about everything I've done in life is that the words that I've spoken are helping people. And because I'm helping people on a different level every single day, I'm trying to always do content. I'm trying to push myself to do content and stuff because I understand it's important. I realize it's important to do as much as possible. You understand? Because you have to do something in life. And I'd rather do this than anything else in the world. Because this to me means everything. And it means that I'm helping people. It means that I'm living my life to the fullest. I understand that when I'm living life to the fullest, I'm speaking words. I understand I'm trying to always help myself in some kind of way that I've never helped myself before. So that I can live like I've never lived before. So I have to understand it's always about helping as much as possible, living that great life that I need to live. And in order to get to that place that I want to go, I have to speak a lot of words to get there. And I understand that the more words I speak every single day, the more I can motivate myself, the more I can be disciplined, the more I can achieve obstacles in a way that I can achieve overcoming obstacles in my life. I can do whatever I need. I promise I can do whatever I need in my life because I can speak the words. And you have to understand it's always about intentional growth, and it's always about growing yourself in ways you've never grown before, doing something that you've never done before, you understand? So you have to always go the new way. You have to go the new direction. And when you go the new direction in life, what happens is you start to speak words. You start to actually create this enthusiasm about life. And when you create a lot of enthusiasm about life, then people can see what you are understanding about life, and people can see your reputation and how you're helping people, and people can see exactly who you are by the words you speak. You know, so you always have to be positive every single day, understanding that you have to do as much content as possible so that you can live a great life, so that you can help yourself to succeed, so that you can go places in life wherever you want to go. And now you have to understand that the way I look at it, for example, is that as long as I'm growing, I understand I'm unstoppable. Then I understand I have to always grow to be able to understand more about my life. And the more I grow myself and the more I show as much as possible about my life, I realize it's much more how I keep things private sometimes. And you have to understand that the things I learn, I try to always teach it as much as possible, and I try to showcase my life online because I got nothing to hide. I've got nothing to hide in my life, so I want to be able to do as much as possible so that I can help myself to succeed. And you have to understand that if you ever want to do something every single day that helps you to do something much better, then it's much more how you have to speak words. You have to understand you have to be a word freak, and you have to always dwell upon the words because the words are something that helps you so much. I promise you, when you are listening to words, when you're speaking words, that's how you learn. You have to understand words are the only factor in your life that are either preventing you from growing or that are also something that grows you. You understand? So you have to understand, depending on how you talk on a daily basis is how you grow. You understand? So you have to realize that today I've grown somewhat. Today. And I understand that it's just when you find yourself in this position where you're just in the house and stuff and you're trying to grow and stuff, but you're in just one position. But the thing is that it's like you want to move around, you want to go places, you want to do things. I understand how it is, but then you're stuck in the house. But then there's no better place than being home. You understand? So you have to realize it's much more how you just have to push yourself to communicate. You have to push yourself to grow in some kind of way. And understand how growth is. I promise you, growth is not the comfort zone. You understand? So when you're growing, you're not in comfort. You're always trying to push yourself to grow. You're always trying to help yourself in some kind of way. And when you help yourself in some kind of way to learn, to grow, and to do the best job possible for yourself, to have a great mindset, then it's like it takes discomfort for you to understand that you have to be in discomfort to grow. You have to every single day understand that there is a way to grow and that I found the way to grow. I found how I grow personally. And because I understand how to grow, I understand how to overcome everything in my life. And that's such an achievement in my life. It's such a big, I understand it's such a big achievement in my life to be able to grow the way I do. Because I understand that before I wasn't able to do this. I wasn't able to grow like this. And now because I can grow like this, I understand now I feel unstoppable. I feel that nothing can stop me. I feel that I'm healthy. I feel that I'm in the best mindset that I can be, even though I always can do better. I can always do better in my life. Now, I always understand that no matter what, that the words just lead the way. And when you speak a lot of words into the planet, then you achieve a lot of success. So you have to always do more work. And you have to always understand that you have to be doing a lot of content. You understand? Reading on a daily basis, speaking a lot of words, doing everything to make sure that you're healthy. You have to study a lot. And when you study life, make sure you're teaching along the way. Try to build a reputation for yourself. Try to help as many people as possible in the planet. Try to make a positive impact in the planet in some kind of way. So I understand that I realize it's much more because people are not following me as much. I realize it's because there's so much wisdom out there. You understand? I promise you, because there's so much wisdom in the world, I realize that's why people are not following me the way I want them to follow me. It's not that I don't want to control them. I understand it's much more how what I'm trying to say is many people are not following me because there's so much wisdom in the world. And because people create their own mindsets and people create their own things in life, and they create their own lifestyles and they create everything about themselves, I realize that's the amazing thing about life that you can do. That you can create yourself every single day, that you can create your life, that you can go and create whatever you want to create in the world, and that you can make some kind of positive difference in the world. In a sense, so that's the whole point of having a great mindset. And it's the whole point of living a great life. So you have to understand that all I'm trying to do in my life personally, I'll tell you right now, is that I'm just trying to make wisdom right now. I'm trying to make as much wisdom as possible. I'm trying to do as much content as possible. I'm trying to help out as much as possible in my life. To help myself is the main thing. Because when I coach myself something, that's when I then coach you. So when I coach myself first, I then make that content come true and I coach you with that content. So if you go through my quotes, for example, if you go on amazon.com.au and you write Danny Milivojevic and you go through all my books, you have to understand that those books are going to coach you my mindset. I wrote all those quotes. I wrote all the quotes on amazon.com.au from me. And you have to realize that each book on amazon.com.au has got to do with me. And the thing is that you have to realize that no matter what, that when you come from a position of making something and you're creating a lot of things in life in terms of thoughts, words, and you're creating a lot of silence in your life, you're creating a lot of things, you start to become happier because you're learning something in the process of creation. And because you learn to grow in a nice way, then you actually start to be so enthusiastic with your life that you start to create a lot of meaning in your life. And because you create a lot of meaning in your life, you're always doing something positive. You're always making sure that you're going to somehow make a difference. And when you make a lot of difference in life, then people start to see exactly what you are made of. They start to see exactly how you can help them. But the thing is that many people are not going through information in the way I am. I realize they're not trying to do what I'm doing. You understand? And the thing is that I understand everyone's got their own path. But you have to realize that my path is just coaching people and making music. That's my path. And now I would love for people to go through my path, to understand me, to understand how good I am, to understand something about helping people in some kind of experience kind of way, where you can provide an experience for people. And that's what you can do also. And that's what you're doing in your life also. You're always providing some kind of experience to people, because you have to realize that's why you're living life. You're here to experience life, but you're here to give the experience of you to people, to showcase you, to make sure that people can understand you in some kind of way. And so that you make a positive difference in the world. So when you make a positive difference in the world, that's the best thing in life, because a lot of positivity happens in life. And when you're flowing with positivity in life, then you're always positive in your daily life. And because you're positive, you're always going to do positive things. You're always going to help yourself in some kind of way. You're going to grow. You're going to give ideas. You're going to make sure you have the greatest mindset in life. And you're just going to be growing. And that's the only thing that you need to do. You just have to make sure every single day you're doing something that's going to lift you, that's going to motivate you to do better. And every single day I'm understanding that the more content I do on a daily basis, I understand that's power. That's something that I always apply in my life. And because I apply all this information in my life, I become an individual who's much greater than yesterday, because I'm always pushing myself to grow. And understand how it can be tough to grow if you don't know how to grow. And now I don't know how to grow either, but I understand something about growth, and I understand that I have a way to grow in my daily life. And because I provide that way for me, I understand that's why I try to teach you how I grow and how I'm doing things in my life so that you can apply this information into your life, which is just mindset. I'm just teaching you a mindset. I'm teaching you my attitude and how I go about things. And now that's the thing. You have to find your own type of thing in life, and you have to start creating this mindset in life. You have to understand mindset is everything. And when you create this amazing mindset that you can have in life, that's the greatest thing in life, because that allows you to live life. This mindset that I'm talking about allows you to live life. It allows you to express yourself. It allows you to give ideas. It allows you to prosper and become rich, and it allows you to understand God and Jesus Christ and all the books of the planet and what it's on about. And you have to understand everything that is a book is a good thing. And there's many books in life. You can tell that life is a good thing. And you have to realize that people are trying to help through books, but you have to be willing to learn this information. You have to be willing to go through the information. You have to be willing to study. Yes, and you have to be willing to study a lot of things, because that's the enthusiasm. And enthusiasm happens when you're learning something. And the more you learn, the more enthusiastic you are. And the more flexible you are, and the better you are in terms of everything. So you have to understand, you have to always be constantly learning. So I can imagine these soccer players around the world and how they do their sports and stuff. I realize, yes, they're trying to be the best soccer player in the world. I realize they're trying to score a lot of goals, but what are they doing for their mindsets? You understand? I mean, how are they growing in daily life? How are they trying to become even greater than soccer? You understand? How are they trying to become a greater individual in everything they're doing? You understand? How are they trying to help the world? You understand? How are other people trying to help the world? You understand? So that's what I always look at. I always look at how is someone coming from this perspective where they're being positive but also trying to help the world in some kind of way, where they're trying to contribute, where they're trying to help themselves in the process. And how are they doing that? And I understand that's why I'm in the inner circle, for example, which means that I'm in that part of life that is a good life. I have a good life. And I understand that I see what's missing. I see also what's not missing in my life. And what's missing in my life is wisdom. And what I have also is wisdom. So I just need more wisdom to grow. And now I have that wisdom already. I have the wisdom that I need to be able to grow. And all I need to understand is much more to just speak and communicate much more on a daily basis. And because I speak a lot, as much as possible in my daily life, I create a lot of meaning. I create lots of meaning every single day. I try to cherish my life. I try to do something to help myself. And because I help myself in many ways, where I grow in many ways, I grow in a lot of ways. And that way I'm actually always enthusiastic. I'm always charismatic. I'm always talking ideas in my life. I'm always trying to feed my mind with positive material. And I'm understanding that's why I'm a positive individual. And understand I don't hang around with a lot of people, you understand? And the reason I don't hang around with a lot of people is because I like to be alone, but I like to be not separate, but I like to be standing out in some kind of way. I like to be also understanding that, yes, everything's separate at the same time as much as it's connected. So you are separate from people, but you're also connected to people at the same time. So what I'm trying to say is you have to stand out, and you have to understand it's much more how when you go together with people somewhere, you have to be learning and growing. And I just feel that these people that are around me are not growing as much as me. So when they're not growing as much as me, then I feel that they're going to drag me down in some kind of way. Instead, because the thing is that everyone's growing in life. But the thing is that I always have to understand that if I want to be around people who are living the life. I always want to be around people who are living the life. And I want to be around people in terms of information, that information that they have. Yes, and I want to be around the information that they're giving. And I feel that these people around me are not giving this information that I need in my life. Yes, and because they're not providing this service for me, then that's why I'm not around these people, because they've got no information to give me. Yes, and so I always want to be around people who are giving me information. And now many people look down on me because I'm just another face. Yes, and I'm just another person. Yes, and it's like they're sick of life. Yes, and it's like they see, oh, this guy's only 30 years of age. What does he know? Yes, and it's like, you have to understand, a little baby can teach you something. Yes, and you have to realize, and the more you realize about life and the more you study life, the more you become a philosopher. You understand? You become this individual where you're growing and when you're making something come true for yourself every single day. You're making a better world for yourself. And because you're making a better world, you're starting to always fascinate yourself with things. And when you're fascinating yourself with a lot of aspects of life, you become a fascinating person to be around. Do you know why? Because you're able to teach these people something. And when you teach a lot of things about life, then people start to come to your direction. They start to see exactly what you're on about and how you communicate on a daily basis. And you have to realize that no matter what I'm doing, I'm always positive about what I do. And no matter how bad things get, I'm always positive about it. And I'm always trying to rotate my information, but I'm trying to grow from that information. I'm trying to grow with everything that I have. And so the thing is that when you have something of information in your life, you need to be able to give that to other people. You have to understand that you have to share a lot of things in life. Yes, and you have to share things about you, about your experiences, about your ideas, about your business, about your career, about your passions, about your adventure, your journey, your travels. Yes, and you have to show people your fashion statement. Yes, then. So if you look at my Instagram, you'll realize something about my Instagram. Go check it out. You have to realize, if you type in Danny Milivojevic Instagram, okay, just go on Instagram, type in Danny Milivojevic. You'll see what my fashion statement is. And you'll see what I'm all about, for example. And it's all about how people perceive you. Yes, and so it's much more how you perceive yourself than how other people perceive you. So you have to realize that the world is positive, okay? And you have to understand that the world is good. So you have to always understand that you have to be in a position to teach something to people. And when you start teaching things around life or around whatever you're doing, you have to understand your business starts to flourish. You start to gain more wisdom from it. You start to actually become someone. You understand? And I understand why some people fail. And they fail because they're trying to make money, but they're not trying to teach people how to make money. You understand? So they're trying to make money, but they're not trying to teach people how to make money. You understand? So it's much more, they're coming from a selfish place because they're doing it for the money. Yes, and they're doing it for the money, but they're not doing it to teach you. Yes, and so you have to realize that you have to do it from a place where you teach people. Yes, and you teach people, and then you make the money. You understand? And now, if you make the money first, then you have to understand that you're making wisdom. You're making wisdom from this. You're not trying to make money. You're trying to make wisdom. And now, when you make wisdom, then you make money. You understand? Wisdom is the money. So, for example, Grant Cardone, who's a best-selling author, apparently he says for people to go get real estate, for example. But what I understand from this is I understand real estate to me is wisdom. So when he says invest in apartment complexes, I say invest in wisdom. Yes, then invest in wisdom, and then you can have whatever you want out of real estate. Yes, and it's much more how you have to realize no matter what happens, it's much more how I'm always relating things to wisdom. I'm always trying to understand you from the wisdom point of view. It's like if you're teaching me wisdom, then you're a good person. If you're teaching me wisdom, then you're giving me a lot of ideas. And if you're teaching me wisdom, then I understand that you are somebody who I need to be around. So I'm understanding that those people who teach a lot of wisdom about life, they are the wise people in the planet. Yes, and so the thing is that many people don't think that I'm a wise person. And now you have to understand that it's much more how I don't care what people think of me, even though I care. You understand? But yeah, I care more about what I think about myself than what other people care about me. You understand? And it's much more, I care more about what I think about myself than what other people think about me. You understand? So it's much more how you have to understand, you have to come from a position of caring nature. And when you start caring a lot about things, you start having a great attitude, because people want people who are caring. You understand? And you have to be around caring people. Always be around someone who cares about you. You understand? I promise you, people who don't care about you, I promise you don't want to be around these people. I promise you, if they're not talking words to you, then don't be around them. You understand? It's much more be around people who are talking words to you. And now you have to realize that where I go for these people is I make sure I go online and I start just learning on my own, for example. And because I learn on my own, I learn a lot of things on my own. You know, so I learn how to be independent, to learn, to grow, to help myself in some kind of way, to be my best friend about my growth and about who I am. And I try to help myself in every single kind of way to always think positively about every single situation, and that there's something better than this world. In a sense, so you have to realize every single day I'm understanding that there's always a better world that I can have in my life. But I understand that it's not a get rich quick scheme, even though you have to realize also that when you learn every single moment, you have to understand that's the greatest thing in life, and it's also a get rich quick scheme as well. So when I'm learning something, that's me getting rich quickly. You understand? But the thing is, it's also a long journey. You understand? It's a long journey, and it's a lot of work to get to the point that you want to get to. But you have to understand that my only goal in life is wisdom. And if I do anything in my life, I understand I'm always doing more. And I understand I'm always doing more because I understand that I need more in my life. I need more. I understand if I want to live more, I understand it's much more how I do. But the thing is, it's much more how also I'm always learning in the process of everything that I'm doing. And because I understand that I have to live life, otherwise I'll kill myself. So that's why I need more. Yes, and so every single day, I'm always trying to help myself in some kind of way to be learning, to grow, to live life, to be the best version of myself that I can be. Yes, and because that's everything. And when you learn and grow every single day, you're always going to find something to say. You're always going to find the better part of life, and so you have to realize when I make a lot of things come true for me, I'm always studying, I'm always learning, I'm always growing, I'm always pushing my boundaries. And when I push my boundaries, I understand it's much more how I'm growing from it. I'm growing, and that's the best thing about life. It's always helping yourself to grow, and that's what it's all about.